All right, I think we're live already. I'm not even going to wait a single second here to just get started because guess what? There's a lot of work to do, and as usual, we're starting pretty late today. And wow, my friend, I could definitely use some rest. I guess this is a never ending project, as we spoke before. This is the 34th, I guess that's how it says, uh, time that we're live streaming here and trying to get this facial rig based on facts, but also creating our action stack, which is a script or a tool to automate the process of building the script. And we also have Bob here spinning. Let's have a chat with him here. Hello, Bob. How's it going, man? Nice spin. I like it. We're getting like a professional on spinning. I mean, it's been about a million times we did this already. And as usual, feel free to comment and share your experiences. Ask some questions about life, about rigging, or you know, just stick around and enjoy the experience in a silent style. Let's jump in and get on to it. So right now I have hey Amesh, yes, right away we have someone that I know, so I'm more comfortable now. I know that we have family in the house. How's it going, man? Hope you're having a good night or day. And right now, so what we have is I have already done a little bit of the shapes here, so we do have the left, right, down, up, and closed and lead razor. So I guess that's almost all the shapes that. So I'm actually saying going great. So telling me that he's going great. Let me get to going great. What about you? I'm good, man. I'm good. I could definitely use some rest. I'm not gonna lie. Could be sleeping a little more, but definitely learning a lot and just having fun with family, my baby. I get my job, so I'm surviving. Still, I'm vaccinated. Whether that's good or not, I don't know. That's up for debate, but I am, so that's all good. So yeah, we are here looking at the remaining shapes. So how about you, by the way? Are you fine, man? Is everything good in your life? I hope you're doing great and you're happy overall, as much as possible. No one is ever 100% happy 100% of the time. Yeah, cool, man. Thanks. So now we're gonna work on. We have the lead tightener, and then we have the closed left, close up, close right, close down. Once we have all the shapes, then we are going to be so. By the way, I need to give a shout out to Derek Sessions. If you would like to learn more about about the techniques of sculpting blend shapes, please go into the normal workshop and check out the course by Derek Sessions, which he is in a detailed, uh, very well constructed course is explaining how to build this set of blend shapes with deformers and a bunch of other techniques. My my main role is being a technical artist. I am doing the sculpting of the blend shapes because I want to get my hands dirty. Let's put it this way. So uh, that's going to be then a way to understand how the skin is moving, how everything is going, like what is necessary to create a realistic deformation as far as I will be able to sculpt it. And then after that, we're going to be able to uh, have a better understanding of the process and how can we uh, either use other systems to represent the same thing, so do the same thing using joints and other systems, or how can we set up a session to, for example, scan an actor, or what are the the best ways to do this. So this is the plan, and right now the next steps then is to create the remaining shapes for the eye, and then start to think how can we implement this into our rig builder. So I'm going to work on the lid tightener right now, and I'm going to be using some of the techniques learned on the course. So please feel free to check it out. And to my friend Derek Sessions, man, good job. I have the pleasure and the honor to work with this professional on digital domain, and it's just experience that I never thought would happen in my life. To I remember I used to watch the normal workshop back when I was in Brazil, and learn from stuff that was there, and think, man, this guy's in the industry. These guys must be, such aliens, or just so different from us humans. And turns out they're humans as well, and they're pretty cool. So glad to have this opportunity. So yeah, that being said, enough of the gibberish, and let's work on the shapes. I mean, we might have some more story time today, but I do have to think of what kind of stories do we. Last time we've been talking about like my career here, and all the trajectory since I came out of Brazil and into Canada, Vancouver, BC. Especially because it's a lot of sculpting and just getting the proper deformation, and after a while you kind of run out of words to describe what you're looking in the screen. So for that reason, I was telling some stories about my life and how stuff happened, and one thing that I didn't speak of. So let me get started on this. I'm checking where is the last uh, keyframe that I have here set, and what was it doing. So I then need to. So this one here doesn't even have keyframes on it, or it's just like loading. But anyways, one thing that I don't speak too much about is actually the amount of risk that you kind of end up having to take to get into this career, right? For me, at least, it was a lot. I mean, you have to make a decision to drop everything, family, friends, everything that you have achieved in your country or whatever you're coming from. I mean, if you're from Canada, maybe the risk is lower, or even if, or maybe you are in the industry already. Let me get another song here. It's too epic, this one. For the epic ones. Let me see if I can get. I like this dreamy one. I found that out. So it's moods. I'm listening to some tunes from Epidemic Sound, and we're gonna be back into the career topic really soon. Let me just find this dreamy session here, and I'm gonna go with the popular ones, and let's see how it looks. So yeah, the career then, I mean, you have to spend a little bit of money, stop for 1 year. So think about it. Maybe you're working on whatever you're working in your life, or doing whatever you're doing, and then without knowing if that's going to bring you any results whatsoever, or if you're going to achieve or get what you wanted, you go and you drop one year of your life on learning. That's quite heavy. I mean, I'm a good believer. So Amash is participating here. Sorry, man, I didn't see that. It is also of risk, and also the risk increases when you go to a different country. That's absolutely correct. I know that it's true for me, at least. And Yeah, but it also teaches you something about taking risks in the right areas of life, right? So if you take risks into learning, if you dedicate yourself to learn and to sort of let's say master. I wouldn't put master, because I don't feel like I'm a master yet, or but I feel like if you invest time and energy into learning and being a better version of yourself, it's the best possible way. It's the least amount of risk that you can possibly get. You can open a company and bet your coins in an idea, and that certainly can yield a lot more results for you. But when you're learning that and you're like achieving a level of competence in some area that can bring results for some company or something, it's very hard that you miss it. But that's definitely not how it feels when you're going through it, right? So you are when you are let me just rename this lead razor cluster. So also our friend here, Nkung, or our friend Nkung is in the house. Thanks for the support once again. The comments always gives us some energy. It's much better to speak to someone than to speak to myself, which is actually what I'm doing here, right? Right? And I don't see many people around except for our friend here, Bob, which is just an amazing company. Nonetheless, yeah, I mean, it is a risky move, or like for me, it was a very risky move. I came to Canada with my wife, and we had to go through a lot, but we got it. So that's just to say that it is worth it, and if you have the chance to study and to invest your time in technology, and there's so many areas. If you don't have the opportunity to travel abroad or to go into a super high-end school or whatever, just dedicate yourself by learning through the methods that you are able to access, such as YouTube, or low price courses such as the normal workshop. Begin with something very specific, such as if you're rigging, focus yourself on a specific area of rigging or whatever that you can get in and tackle as fast as possible, so that you can demonstrate that. So if you're talking about modeling, for example, or the area of sculpting or what, so you can focus yourself on just texturing to begin with, or just modeling hard surface, or just modeling organics. But start small, start with like some face or whatever, and demonstrate that as fast as possible, so that one, you get motivated. So it's very important for you to get motivated. If you tackle two big projects, such as, who am I to say though, right? I mean, this is not a gigantic project though, but it is taking a long time. But I that's one of the reasons why I do live streaming as well, because I can at least get a little bit of the feedback, and be in touch with people, and also get the feedback from the actual industry, and at each stage get a little bit of a feedback. This way, you keep yourself motivated and you just keep yourself moving forward, because the hardest thing when you're getting started is that it is overwhelming, the amount of stuff that you need to learn. It is all the softwares, then you have the artistic part, you have to be able to sculpt. I mean, I'm speaking too much and I'm working too little, so let me get going here. But that is to motivate you, whatever you are, or whatever the stage you are. Even if you are an advanced user, or advanced, you are already working on the industry. I know I speak from my perspective, which I have already some level of competence in some of the areas of rigging and sculpting and whatever. But then all of a sudden, you get this huge wave of, like, I don't know, machine learning, and you get Python, and then you have Maya API, and if you think that like you are starting on modeling or starting on rigging, and then all of a sudden at some point it's going to stop. I feel like it's the same over and over again, like even on the stage that I am, which again, it's not that much, but I have been through some parts of it, and I'm happy to be working on the industry. But still, even when you need to start learning again, it's always challenging. So that's my way of countering it when I'm, you know, doing this live stuff and just trying to tackle these problems live. Like even today, I before I went into the live, I was, watching some YouTube, and all of a sudden you are like watching random stuff that's not bringing any good to you, not no knowledge or whatever. I mean, it's hard, and just to keep concentrated nowadays, it's hard. So that's the way I try to get around that. But anyways, talking about good stuff. It is interesting to work on the like team environment on this studios. It's never as organized as we think it is. At least I know for me, the experiences that I had, uh, even on high end studios, there's always a lot of stuff to figure out. Uh, oh, by the way, I'm saying that I have music here, but it's not going to, so I'm listening by myself. How sad. So I'm tripping here on the songs, and it's a calm one, like a trippy music, but it's better than just listening to myself ranting about life. But yeah, so yeah, most of like uh, since I started, I'm not gonna mention any studio names, although it haven't been like that many. So whatever I say is probably gonna be directed to some of the studios that I worked on, but not in a bad way though. I mean, it's just that before I got into the industry, I had this idea that the studios would have everything figured out, and it would be, you know, all of them would have their systems, their builders, and everything sorted. And but the truth is, all studios have their struggles, and it's always a messy process. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and I feel like, I don't know. I hope that I find one. I'm yet to see a studio that is like 100% perfect. That's just not happening anytime soon, I guess. There's one that I wonder though, how Weta does stuff in New Zealand. Are they perfect? Is anyone in Weta at the moment to tell me if Weta is a perfect studio? I wonder. This is something that I would like to find out one day. If I had the opportunity to go to Weta, I would think about it. I gotta say. But well, who wouldn't, right? But it's always hard to drop everything and go to, thinking about going to New Zealand or something like that, spending 1 year probably, and my daughter. I don't know what I would do with my daughter at this point, and just have her on a like a school there, like a daycare or something. All right, so let me check here. I don't know if I'm how much I'm able to show of this book here, because this is copyright material, right? So I'm just gonna show what I'm looking at here, and then I'm gonna move into doing my own research here. But what I'm looking at is like the lead tightener. So here's a range, but I would assume that the lead tightener. Do I have this here? Okay, so I'm gonna have to take this out of the screen because I don't feel comfortable by leaving this on. But yeah, I mean, life is surprising, and I would like to, if something gets out of this conversation, is whatever is the risk that you're thinking. Like if you're thinking of getting into the industry, or anyways, whatever you're thinking of doing in your life, know that the higher the, it's easy to say this though, but the higher the risk, the higher the rewards. So, you know, take a moment to appreciate risks. When you see a risk, no, you know, just bear in mind or have in mind that it's going to hurt a lot. Trust me, it's going to hurt. But when you get on the other side, after you're out of the risk, you're gonna be bigger. So just to encourage you, wherever you are, or whatever is the situation that you're in, take your chances and do what you love. I mean, from my perspective, I don't know if I would encourage anyone to jump into this industry, but I also would assume that for me, I feel that the reason why I wanted to be in this industry is because somehow I felt like I had the aptitude to do it, and that's why I felt inclined to jump into the opportunity, right? And I assume that's the case for anyone interested in such a thing. Like you wouldn't be interested in something if you knew that you have no aptitude for it, so, or that is not for you. I mean, but even if you're thinking of doing with no experience at all, or you're young or whatever, it is something that is worth it. And it's also, so sorry, I'm looking at the shapes here, trying to find the lid tightener. I'm just gonna search for it on the internet. I think that Melinda also had something about it, something to share with us. So it's going to be lid tightener, Melinda also. Melinda also is also doing a great job in so I'm gonna show her website here. Great job. Congratulations to Melinda. I had the opportunity to speak with her. I actually invited her for a interview, but I unfortunately wasn't able to follow through at the time. My equipment was, yeah, this is the lid tightener here. So my equipment wasn't that good at the time. I felt like it wouldn't add that much value to her, and I didn't feel like I had the right questions to ask. So now I might be in a better moment to reach out to her and say, look, let's talk. I want to know your perspective on this thing, and like, why is it so important? Or are we ever going to be in a different position, or like just to simulate this and not use facts at all, you know? Anyways, the motivation talk is always, it's always terrible, right? I mean, no one is equal, and you know, there's a lot of luck involved. I know, I don't feel superior to anyone. It's 100%, or it's a lot of luck involved, but to the extent of the, you know, whatever luck in life is like, you're gonna have luck sometimes, and then when you have the luck, or when you have an opportunity, you just gotta go for it. So then comes the thing of like, whatever, just take your chances, take the risk, and that's it. But enough of this talk. I hope that is of any value. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to do this lid tightener here. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna key it on 0, and then we're gonna be moving towards this guy here. So Now, I don't know if I hope Melinda doesn't mind that this content is free, by the way, and I'm not claiming any how do you say it? Like, it's not authority, is authority over it. It's obviously her content, and I hope that this bring any value to her. I mean, it's not even that many people watching this, but anyways, keep painting this thing. So yeah, I mean, if anyone is watching this now or in the future, good luck. Good luck with whatever you are looking after in life. So yeah, again, this is all techniques that, so of course some of I've been sculpting for some time as well, so some of the techniques obviously I'm adding from my own experience, but some of the former techniques are coming from Derek sessions, as I said. So just like to give a shout out to anyone sharing knowledge, because that's how we're going to get forward. We're just going to keep creating these clusters. And yeah, what else can I tell about my life or the industry? If anyone has any questions about like this bananas industry, or even Vancouver City, which is where I live, and that's actually like before I came here to Vancouver, I had no idea what is like what the city is, or I just I just jumped in. I saw that Vancouver Film School was one of the best schools, and then I was like, okay, if I want to take this risk, I have to go study in this school. But I didn't even see what Vancouver was about, or what could you find here in Vancouver, if the city was cool or not. For me, it was just a city in Canada, but turns out it's a pretty cool city with a bunch of stuff to do, with a bunch of natural stuff to do. Like you can snowboard, or you can hike a lot here. There's a bunch of mountains, really close. Everything's like a bunch of mountains close to the city, which is, I think, a big differential. But yeah, and I didn't know how many studios we could find here in Vancouver, which is actually quite a lot. And if you like, I didn't know also. This is way too trippy. Let me give a new song here. So yeah, I didn't know how many studios were here, and whether I knew that some of the best studios were here, but honestly, I knew more about the school than about the studios. And turns out that indeed there's a lot of studios here, and and there's more coming. There's a lot of studios coming to this region here. I think that Canada, or Vancouver specifically, is giving a lot of incentives to the studios to stay here, simply because of just for the employees, I guess. let's get these two guys here and turn them into like linear tangent here. So let me see how her eye behaves here. Yeah, I can see that there's more on the corner of the eye here. There's also a lot of movement on the cheeks. Yeah, so then we're just gonna keep working on this. Let's see if it's of any good to it's literally about like it's going down, but this part here is going, yeah, this the lacrimal gland here, or the caruncle, is also compressing a little bit, so that's what gives it the feel of contraction as well. So definitely that's not happening here. Let's do it. The top part was this one, so I'm just gonna add it this cluster and just paint it. What's the bottom one? Cluster 10, and let's just add yeah, so also I'm using my mouse here, which is something that is not good for the screen. Just too much clicking. Let me get some teak. So that's going to give us a lot smoother workflow here. But yeah, if you have the opportunity to come to Vancouver, do it. We can have a coffee and talk about life. Some good friends here. Miss my family quite a lot. We can trade off, right? If that makes it a little more compressing. Well, there's one thing that I don't like about this, is that when you finish painting, it doesn't update. I don't know, it keeps sort of a history. So then I have to throw it into the subdivision mode and then bring it back so that it is then able to update. And yeah, haven't been to Brazil in 4 years. Think about it. A long time. I've seen many different stuff here. It's good. So as I say, I mean, it's a personal talk, I guess. It's becoming a personal talk show about my life and the life of my friends and whatever. But we do have to wait for our scoped shapes, and I can either be silent or speaking, and I guess I'm having a hard time helping myself. And yeah, so faces. Let's talk about facts then. What is it, and why would we use facts? There's definitely many more, or people with much more authority about this topic than myself. Melinda also is one of them, the girl that we are looking here on as a reference. She's creating one of the most amazing bases of knowledge here on facts, but just about my perspective on the topic. Uh, I didn't understand why we needed it in the beginning, but it's just a simple way to coordinate for people that don't know what facts is, because the problem is you can, so say you are in a recording session and you need to tell your subject to activate the buccinator, or the zygomaticus major or zygomaticus minor. It's just it's not a very user friendly way of, so facts. Then it turns out that from what I'm seeing in facts, it does, like, it's just in some senses it's renaming the muscle movement, the names of the muscles, to just a sort of a representation of a name, such as Booker, for example, uh, or even the lead tightener, or cheek razor, for example. And this is all stuff that could be called by the muscle name. Like, you could literally say the muscle name or the activation of the specific muscle name. But it turns out that it is easier to read it this way. And then you have the action units, which are, it's this music about now. All right. So what I'm checking right now is, like, if adding a little bit of movement to the cheek is going to help us with giving it a little bit of a soft look, not like a mechanical look. I have some indie style songs now. There you go again, man. You're gonna have to. There gotta be a solution to this. I don't know if I need to refresh the viewport or something. But yeah, so then after we're done with this eye shapes, then we're gonna do the thing of, like, mirroring and separating the shapes, and then uh, I'm probably going to be exporting the shapes, or the first batch of shapes as a .shp file, and then we're going to be connecting the shapes to the eye movement. So whatever the eye controls do, the blend shapes would be then activated. Could be like a set different key, or even straight connection, but it could be a set driven key, I believe. So after that, then we're gonna have a good understanding of, so now you can see a bit of a movement here, which is like giving us a little more flashy feel. Now let me check a little more for other hints here Yeah, so this area here is definitely moving in almost like as a whole. That's a good song. Finally. So yeah, Epidemic Sound is what I'm using right now, and it's good because any other types of songs you use. So we have a new comment here from Massimo De Antonis. I don't remember if I've seen Massimo before, but if I didn't, welcome, my friend, and if I did, welcome as well. uh, hey man, hi man, have a good day rigging. Yeah, thank you so much. Night actually, but and I will use your good energies to proceed in my journey here for sure. Thank you. Yeah, this is it's been 34 sessions already. Can you believe it? Since we started this, and we actually came a long way. I think that the greatest achievement so far is the UI here, like the system, which is making our lives a lot easier. After we're done with sculpting this blend shapes, we're going to be able to create a couple of methods added to the stack, and from that we're going to be able to rebuild this pretty easily, given that it is all blend shapes, so it's not even a complex system behind this. Using blend shapes, all we're going to need is to connect some controls using some sort of math, meaning we could be using the set driven keys, or just like multiplying values, or it's not going to be very hard, to be honest. It's mostly a organization task, like in the sense of having a dictionary with the name of the shapes that we want to connect to what, and that's going to be a standard. So for example, for the next project, as long as I have the same blend shapes with the same names and this using a .shp file, the system would then connect the names of the blend shapes with the controls, and that's it. So then we can start talking to some artists and saying, look, let's work together. Let's get some of this good stuff you're doing and get some movement on it. And hopefully then by doing this sculpting, we will then be able to say, for example, you have a modeler sculpting something, or have a good knowledge on likeness, but have never done anything with blend shape sculpting. Then it's easier to help with the comprehension and supervision of something like this. Without knowing, it's very hard, or without doing it yourself, sometimes it's very hard. So that's my idea, though. I'm not to say that this is what's going to happen 100%, or that also, even if I do this, that I'm going to be able to help anyone. But if there's a chance, we are going to take it. So that's feeling a bit more like what we saw in Melinda's face. Yeah, so I'd like to make this look a little more flashy, and it's hard to say. Well, there's some Melinda's eyes, we have a little bit of an unfolding of the top part of the lid here, but it is pushing in an interesting way. It feels almost like a hinge here. Uh, yeah, let's observe our results here and see what are we getting. Also, let's smooth this out because it's way too blocky. Nice, this is a good one too. I'm trying to create my own list here because there's a lot of good stuff, but there's also a lot of BS. I don't have many, a couple. Interesting. So sorry, I was looking at my playlist here on Epidemic Sound because every time I find some interesting song, I'm adding it. So yeah, to be honest, this is not that bad. It's simple, but I would also have to believe that it is correct because may add another cluster here and but it's actually not that big of a movement anyways. I sculpting some shapes here and talking about life, and some people are interested in this kind of BS. some people just don't, and I hope that we can find some middle ground here with our listeners between stuff that is relevant and stuff that is irrelevant. Right. So yeah, let me isolate this, check how's it going underneath it. Yeah, so I'm not gonna go nuts on like the internal. So as I said, some of the techniques here are coming from one of the courses that Derek Sessions is doing on the normal workshop. Highly recommend it. If you didn't know it or if you didn't check it, please go ahead and give some support to my friend Derek. And but he is getting the inside of the eyes like a lot further or giving it a lot more attention than I am willing to do at this point. This project is mostly a learning process here to get as much knowledge as possible on how to create this properly, or at least, you know, an initial foot in this approach, like a full blend shape approach, and see what goes from there. But I'm not gonna go bananas on, you know, I'm gonna do the best in some of the shapes, and then with the results in hand after that, I will then think about how to refine it and to make it look even better. But initially, we're gonna be looking to get a good result, but not like a, not gonna go nuts on it. I think there's more movement on this part here, so I'm gonna add some weights to it. And we can actually see that there's nothing affecting this area all that much. Maybe this is even too much at this point. Zero right now. No, I think I know why I was going for this inspirational talks in the beginning. I think that when you have some songs on the background, you start to feel like you know, like you're inspired to talk about like a specific topic or give people inspiration. But trust me, that's not the case. So yeah, I mean, maybe there's some topics in terms of like this new approaches on the industry and where the industry is heading with this whole meta-humans thing, which I'm actually thinking of doing like a breakdown of the face. I was searching on the internet to see if I could find anyone analyzing the inner workings of the meta-humans face, and I feel like this might be a good topic for a stream or even for an edited video. I think would be good information not only for the viewers but for me as well. I'm curious to see what have they done differently. I know that they have a bunch of joints going on, so I'm surprised about that because I thought that they would be going for strict blend shapes on the entire process, and it seems that that's not the case. They are translating a lot of the blend shape movements into the joints, but it's also not all that surprising because what you see from the basic movements of the face is the broad ones at least, that they don't have too much detail, and the detail for specific shapes or specific faces can come fully from the maps. So you can have, and I believe that's what they're doing, right? So they are using normal maps and differences on the diffuse maps and also on, you know, specular maps and etc. to actually give the details to the faces. And for the base of the face, the rough movement, it's like it's just a broad shape, and that's how you can add it from one face to the other. But I need to check, I need to open it up, get it into Maya, like actually see the connections of the nodes and see what is it that it's actually doing. That might be a good learning because I'm seeing a bunch of people creating content lately, like some people claiming to be like virtual YouTubers or whatever. I don't know if that's the case yet. Like if that's something that is going to fly. I don't think this technology, or I mean, not talking about the technology though, the type of content. There's a one that is great, which is the Xanadu. This guy is amazing. I actually got him on LinkedIn, and this is a guy that I would like to maybe do an interview, but I'm just a small guy, you know, on YouTube. I'm just trying to do my job here, and these guys are already ahead of me with number of followers and views on videos. I would have to go a lot more popular in terms of types of content, edited stuff with but right now I'm literally trying to make something work, right? So that we can then in the future get into a point where we can do this. We can, you know, focus on actually creating something with this knowledge, not only trying to develop the technology. Also, another piece of so I'm just watching here the movement. Yeah, there's a bit of a rotation in this side. So let me see if I can replicate this without having to add like an extra cluster here. Is it all it does is like a little bit of wow, but then I lose this part here, so I'm gonna have to add another cluster. It's fine. So yeah, one thing that I've been looking as well is the thing with machine learning, specifically with computer vision. So you have like face detection and all the stuff that could be technically integrated. Oh, sorry. It could be technically integrated with the project that we're working on, and that's a good thing because it's hard to just get out of the topic. The industry is very demanding. If you're doing something that is like senseless, at least in my perspective, you're not getting anything out of it. So such a simple movement here. So I just want this part here to be moving inwards a little bit. For that, then I will get this cluster, and I'd like to like rotate it just a little bit like this. And then try to smooth this out. Right, what time is it, dudes and gals? I'm not gonna go way too far today. I need some rest. My eyes are getting deeper every day. Okay, let's just see then if we have a little bit better, right? Just one thing then is the tangent here, so it has to be linear. Yeah, definitely looking better a bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna take this shape here as further as possible, and I'm gonna call it a day. I think we have a good plan. The plan, as I said, is to get all of these eye shapes sculpted or deformed, and then once we're done with that, then we're going to be working on implementing this on the code so that we have like some sort of a basis or already initial experiment on rebuilding these shapes and connecting it to the eye, because this is a for the entire shape. When we get to the shape of the actual, or like when we get to the mouth, for example, I'm gonna have to design and place controllers here on around the mouth or in a separate UI, and that on itself it's going to take some time, if not like quite a lot of time. So for the eye though, we have a good opportunity because the eye has only one controller. These controls here are then going to be driven by yet another control, which is usually that I like an aim constraint controls that are in front. I don't even know if I want that though. I feel like it's so hard to control that. I mean it's good if you are in a scene where you gotta make them look specifically to somewhere. But even like we can see that even on real life, such as myself here, when I'm talking to Bob here, for example, I'm not necessarily looking to him, right? By the way, he doesn't exist if you didn't realize that yet. He's not actually here, but I mean, just by looking more or less into the direction, we can create the illusion of looking at something, and I believe it's the same thing with. I believe not. I know. Well, let's put it this way. I believe that it's the same thing for characters in the 3D space, because sometimes even if you're pointing the eye, or if you place the aim constraint controller in on top of the object that you want it to be looking at, it could be that it is in a wrong position, or like it is the head maybe is not positioned in the proper way, and maybe if you just were looking a little bit off, but still you could see the eye better and the position of the head was better, then maybe you can get a better result. So that to say that maybe these aim constraint controllers are not 100% necessary, but also not to say that it is unnecessary and that we are not going to implement that. Maybe we will, but it's just not necessary right now. So this is like I'm trying to get the eye squint here, and it is moving a bit of this bottom part, but I feel like it's not really. Yeah, if we see the human reference here, I don't know. I think that the greatest movement comes from the cheeks here. I think that this part makes it feel alive. The top part doesn't really move all that much, and this part here is going kind of inwards, which is we're getting with the last cluster that we added here. I think that's more like it. So to bring this inner part here closer to the eye. And then I'm gonna get like a very small value, which it is already a very small value, but I just want to add like just a tiny little bit of movement here. Fence could be feeling a little bit dead at this moment. Not too round as well, I can feel that. This part here is a bit squared out. This one is cool. Yeah, so I'm staying a little bit more, not too much more. I want to click the wrong button. I believe this here should be. Yeah, look at the amount of space we have here, though. We're kind of moving forward. Yeah, it does feel like it's doing what it should. Like you can see that this part here is rolling inwards, and this part here, I believe, should have the same feeling. Yeah, but it does feel like it is squinting. I think that one difference that I can clearly see on Melinda's face here is like how much it pushes on the side here, so that's something to consider too. Oh my god, there's now like a meditation song and I'm already sleepy. No! Leave me alone! Oof. So much better. It is definitely moving a little bit, but not as much as we can see there. Yeah, I'll have to do another cluster here. Just for this guy, and then maybe a cluster for the cheek here, just to round it up a little bit and push it up. Lose a little bit of volume maybe. Look, there's a lot moving around here, and this is a big part of what's giving it life, so I guess that's a good thing to make it move there. All right, here we go, another cluster. All right, what time is it? I feel like my brain is starting to collapse right now. Funny as it sounds, it may have worked. It does feel like he's squinting that, right? Like and but also that's more or less what it is, right? It's going down. What if it's pushing inwards? Yeah, I mean, definitely the top part here doesn't happen to be the case. Let me check here. If I then turn off the envelope, oh god. Yeah, I mean, it's a small difference, but I guess the greatest thing here is that it's affecting mostly the outer part of the skin, so I have to increase the influence inside here. Oh, don't give me the drama music. I'm gonna cry. Nice. That's what I need. Yeah, so it was looking a little too flat there, unrealistic. So by bringing the inside here in, I hope that we then get this. Now I need to hit Control or hit 3. Yeah, guys, so already I'm gonna prepare you. We're probably getting to the end of this stream here, given that my brain is just turning into milkshake. And I need to get some rest. Tomorrow's another day of work. And trust me, there's a lot of work to be done. What's about the movement of the cluster itself? Let me change something about it, just like a little bit. Feels like it's moving more than the actual eyelid. I don't know if what I want is for it to be like further away like this. Best it. Such a simple shape, right? Like freaking eye squint. Who cares about this? You know what? I'm gonna drop this right now as this. So there's still a little bit of work to do on the cheeks, and I feel like there's a bit of a volume loss there that I would like to counter. But I think we're gonna get there. Next stream, we're likely gonna have. Well, I will make the goal of the next stream to get all the shapes now finalized and export, so duplicate it and then add it as an actual target, and then we're going to be mirroring to the other side, and then after we're done with that, we will be working on the script to rebuild this and get it. Let's see from this side. Look, you're not gonna get me with this song. Sorry, man. All right, so yeah, then we're going to be rebuilding this with the action stack. And with that, then we're going to be able to control it using the eyes, and we should then have like the initial working of the blend shape system, and start to get a little more confident that this thing is actually taking us somewhere rather than nowhere, which is where I've been afraid to get all of this time. I mean, it's a long journey, and it's just been surprising every step to get some sort of result. It's over for today, my friends. Thank you so much for participating. For my new friend here, Massimo de Antonis, thanks for stopping by. For Nkung, thank you for participating. And Amesh, as usual, thank you so much for your company, man. For you, Bob, you're an amazing partner, and your eyes are starting to move. Maybe at the end of next stream, you're going to be able to blink a little bit. Think about it, man. How long your eyes must be dry as hell. Jesus. Here. We're gonna make it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for your company, and I will go get some rest to work tomorrow. Cheers. Bye bye.